Good evening, I'm Atik Rumi, bring you the news on Gold FM.
The news headlines on Gold FM.
In your headlines, opposition leader calls for Treasury Secretary's resignation. Dr. Raghavan compels the president to give up the finance portfolio. Alleged organizer of Thai tour for drug-hauling monks arrested. It was a teacher who fired at Trump's dinner. More success for Sri Lanka at Asian Beach Games in Sanya.
The top story on Gold FM.
The monk who had allegedly organized the tour of Thailand for 22 of his fellow Buddhist clergymen who were arrested at the Bandaranaike International Airport with drugs was also arrested today. He was arrested in the Meegahavatta area in Gampaha. The 22 clergymen were arrested at the BIA during the early hours of this morning while attempting to smuggle in more than 112 kilograms of the narcotics kush and hash. Officials of the Police Narcotics Bureau intercepted the group as they returned from Bangkok, Thailand. Investigators say the suspects originate from various parts of Sri Lanka and claim to be pursuing higher education at different institutions. Further investigations continue and the suspects will be produced before the Negombo Magistrates Court today. In the meantime, the chief prelates of the three Buddhist sects issued a joint statement today strongly condemning the transport of narcotics by individuals posing as Buddhist monks. They expressed their outrage at the misuse of the sacred saffron robe, stating that these illegal acts bring immense dishonor to the historic role of the monkhood in Sri Lanka and insult the faith of Buddhists worldwide. The chief prelates are now calling for swift state intervention to establish a legal mechanism for investigating these imposters and ensuring they are permanently expelled from the clergy. They further urged security forces to dismantle organized drug networks that are actively targeting and manipulating younger monks into criminal activity. Senior clergy members across the island have been instructed to maintain constant vigilance over their students to ensure adherence to religious discipline and to prevent any further exploitation of the Buddhist order.
This is the local news on Gold FM.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa is calling for the resignation of the Secretary to the Treasury Harshana Suryaperama over the $2.5 million debacle. It was accepted by the Treasury that the said sum was lost and as the payment had not been made to the correct designated account in Australia. This is what the opposition leader had to say on the matter today.
The Prime Minister and other senior government officials are attempting to portray this as a minor issue that can be easily resolved. It can certainly be resolved by imposing a heavier tax burden on the public. The sum of $2.5 million has disappeared, effectively evaporating. It was actually possible to predict such an occurrence and prevent it, but both possibilities were ignored. This stems from inefficiency and negligence, and there is reason to suspect that a fraudulent process has taken place. The first step must be the resignation of the Secretary to the Treasury. Furthermore, this matter requires a transparent investigation rather than a mere internal inquiry. As Parliament is the body responsible for public finances, a parliamentary investigation should be conducted. The Committee on Public Finance should summon the Secretary to the Treasury and the Governor of the Central Bank to investigate exactly what transpired.
Meanwhile, the opposition is also calling for the president to relinquish the finance portfolio in light of the incident. Speaking to the media today, former governor of the Eastern Province Dr. Suren Raghavan put forth three demands, which included President Anurukumara Dissanayake giving up the Ministry of Finance. He stressed that investor confidence has taken a serious hit due to the Treasury falling prey to scammers.
Now at the government, the most highest level, through this phishing activity, the government had lost its control over the management of our finances. Tomorrow, God forsake, God prohibit that happened, that the central bank can get up and say, our entire $6.8 billion are missing and we are only searching to the CID and CID will tell you what will happen. I hope this government will not push this nation to that point. Therefore, on behalf of the party, I have three demands in front of the government and to my former parliamentary colleague, Honorable President Andrew Kumar Sanaik. Number one, appoint an independent cross-party investigation team for all the allegations that the government is facing today, not your own friends. It is very famous to appoint a retired judge. I mean, with all respect to the judges, it's very easy to appoint one of them and then get a report, and that report will sleep. We have gone through this. No, we don't want that. This nation demands accountability from you, because that is the platform that you came to power. Number two, sack, not just temporary resignations. Sack everybody who is involved in this and recover the money from their personal funds. It is public funds. Now we have to pay the Australian government, right? We can't default them. Now the $2.5 million had to be paid. Who is going to pay that? Therefore, these officials, if they are party carders, if they are inexperienced people, if they are political appointees, recover from them. Number three, Honorable Andrew Kumar Sanayaka, all had happened under you. The customs is under you. Treasury is under you as Minister of Finance. Central Bank is independent, but you are the minister. And digitalization ministry is under you, sir. How is this possible that all three areas you have failed? This nation voted for you for a better tomorrow, but you have cheated on them and failed. Therefore, my third recommendation and demand may be, until all these investigations are finished, you step down from the Ministry of Finance and give it to a person who is independently able to understand. Maybe you are under pressure, you have too much in your hand. I don't know who you have. It looks like you have put your best people and they're still failing. Maybe you have to hire somebody outside. We have lost our investor confidence. Who will come to a nation and invest if the entire treasury is being hacked?
In the meantime, Dr. W.A. Vijayawardena, a former deputy governor of the central bank, puts the incident down to ignorance and negligence of treasury officials. Speaking to Hiru News, he noted that recovering the missing money might prove difficult. In the interest of clarity, we have refrained from dubbing his remarks.
හැම අවුරුද්දේම මෙන්න මේ ණය අහවල් දිනට අහවල් ණය හිමියට අපි ගෙවිය යුතුයි කියලා ලේඛනයක් එනවා. අපිට රාජ්‍ය ණය දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ ලේඛනය ආවහම රාජ්‍ය ණය දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව මේක චෙක් කරනවා ඇත්තටම මේ ඒ ලේඛනයේ තිබෙන තොරතුරු අපේ තිබිච්ච මුල් ගිවිසුම් වල තිබෙන තොරතුරු සමග. ඒවා නිවැරදි නම් අපි කරන්නේ නියමිත දිනේට භාණ්ඩාගාර නියෝජ්‍ය ලේකම්ගේ ගිණුමෙන් මුදල් අරගෙන ඒ අදාළ පාර්ශවයට අපි තුමු මේක ඇමරිකන් ඩොලර් නම් අපේ ෆෙඩරල් රිසර්ව් බැංකුවේ තියෙන ගිණුමකින් ඒ වගේ බ්‍රිතාන්‍යයේ පවුම් වලින් නම් අපිට බැංක් ඔෆ් ඉංග්ලන්ඩ් වල තියෙන ගිණුමකින් මේ මුදල් අරගෙන අපි අදාළ ණය හිමියට ගෙවනවා. දැන් අපි ඔන්ලයින් හරහා ගෙවපු ගාම අපිට SMS එකක් එනවනේ විදුලි වල මණ්ඩලයෙන් ඔබගේ මුදල් ලැබුණා කියලා හිතන්න. අපි ජලවිදුලි මණ්ඩලයට මුදල් ගෙවුවාම ඔන්ලයින් එකෙන් ඉමීඩියට්ලි අපිට SMS එකක් ලැබෙනවා මෙන්න මේ මුදල ලැබුණා ඉන්කම් ටැක්ස් එකට බදු ගෙවුවාම එහෙම ලැබෙනවා. ඉතින් අපිට ඇක්නොලෙජ්මන්ට් එකක් එනවා මේ මුදල් ලැබුණා කියලා හිතන්න. ඒතර මේ ඇක්නොලෙජ්මන්ට් එක තමයි අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ මේ ණය අපහු ගෙවීම පිළිබඳ සහතිකය. නියෝජ්‍ය මුදල් ඇමතිවරයා ප්‍රකාශ කරපු විදිහට මේ එහෙම ඇක්නොලෙජ්මන්ට් එකක් ලැබිලත් නැහැ. ඒගොල්ලෝ මෙහෙම වැරදි ගෙවීමක් කළයි කියලා දැනගෙන තිබෙන්නේ ඕස්ට්‍රේලියානු එක්ස්පෝර්ට් ෆිනෑන්ස් කෝපරේෂන් එකෙන් අහලා තියෙනවා වාරිකේ ඇයි ගෙවුවේ නැති කියලා අහුවට පස්සේ තමයි මේගොල්ලෝ දන්නේ. ප්‍රොසීජර්ස් වල ලොකු අඩුපාඩුවක් තිබෙනවා. ඒ ප්‍රොසීජර්ස් ඇත්තටම යාවත් කයිල් කරන්න ඕනේ කරලා හිටන් අපි නිලධාරීව දැනුවත් කරන්න. මේ කියන මුදල් අපි ගෙවුවාම ආලෝකයේ වේගයෙන් යන්නේ තප්පරයට 1,86,000ක වේගයෙන් තමයි මේවා යන්නේ. ඒ ෆිෂර්ස් වරු කරන්නේ මේ මුදල් ආපහු හොයාගන්න බැරි තැනකට ගෙනහිල්ලා මේ මුදල් ඒගොල්ලෝ පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. වහාම කළ යුත්තේ තමයි මේ මුදල ගිණුමෙන් කොහාටද ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. මොකද දැන් මේවා මේ ඉලෙක්ට්‍රොනිකලි ගෙවන නිසා මේවා තියෙන ඔඩිට් ට්‍රේල් එක. ඒ ඔඩිට් ට්‍රේල් එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්.
Police have uncovered a new digital scam designed to plunder bank accounts through malicious file sharing. The scam involves a suspicious file labeled .apk, which is sent via unknown numbers or even disguised as coming from a friend. Once downloaded and opened, hackers can gain full control of the mobile device. This access allows criminals to intercept sensitive data, including SMS messages and one-time password codes, enabling them to drain funds from victims' accounts. These malicious files often masquerade as wedding invitations, electricity bills or lottery notifications on social media, appearing as images or PDF documents. However, upon clicking, the file installs itself as a mobile application, granting hackers the ability to read private messages and obtain secret banking codes without the user's knowledge. Sri Lanka today called for expressions of interest to operate the Mahinda Rajapaksa International Airport in Matala. The Ministry of Ports and Civil Aviation invited proposals from prospective investors to utilize resources of the airport. The expression of interest, which includes airside, aerodrome and landslide operations, is open to both domestic and international entities. India expressed interest in operating the Matala Airport in the past, including through a joint venture with a Russian company. That, however, did not materialize. The Matale airport was developed with nearly $200 million from a Chinese loan.
Now for some news in brief.
4 employees, including the engine driver, are held from being assigned to duties until the conclusion of investigations into the derailment of the express train Sagarika near the Vadua railway station.
The business news on Gold FM.
Asia is among the regions most exposed to a rapidly darkening global economic outlook, according to a new report from ratings agency Fitch. The US-Iran war and its threat to oil supplies through the Strait of Hormuz sit at the heart of the warning. If the waterway remains blocked through mid-year, Fitch says oil could average $100 a barrel this year, a 50% jump from its pre-war forecast. For Asia's energy-importing economies, the hit would be severe. India faces the steepest inflationary impact of any major economy in Fitch's modelling, with price pressures running well above the global average of 1 percentage point above baseline. Korea and Japan are among the economies facing the sharpest GDP contractions under the adverse scenario, with growth potentially falling between 0.8 and 1 full percentage point below forecast over the next 4 quarters. Asian credit markets are also in the crosshairs.
International news on Gold FM.
The man who opened fire on Secret Service agents at a security checkpoint inside Washington's Hilton Hotel is a teacher. The incident prompted the hasty evacuation of President Donald Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, and Vice President J.D. Vance from the White House Correspondents Association dinner. The suspect, identified as Cole Thomas Allen, aged 31, of Torrance, California, charged through 2 security checkpoints armed with a shotgun, a handgun, and multiple knives before being tackled and arrested. The Secret Service agent he shot was saved by a bulletproof vest and later released from the hospital. The gunman is said to be a Caltech graduate who works as a part-time teacher. President Trump addressed the nation from the White House shortly after the incident.
A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now. Put out on Truth and put out on many other platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun. The vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer and he's doing great. He's in great shape.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
Lionsgate's Michael Jackson biopic Michael reached a worldwide box office total of over $82 million. Domestic earnings account for $52.1 million of the total, representing more than 63% of the film's overall revenue. International markets contributed an additional $30.1 million during the current theatrical run. These figures place the production at number 8 on the domestic charts for the year.
Sports news on Gold FM.
Sri Lanka clinched a bronze medal at the 6th Asian Beach Games in Sanya, China, delivering a commendable performance in the men's 60-meter relay event. The quartet of Manuja Prabhash, Malit Tamel, Malit Tharushan and Sandun Dielavatham represented the country, finishing the race with an impressive time of 27.57 seconds to secure a podium spot. That's it for the news. I'm Atik Rumi. Have a great evening.
The Total